G'day everyone, welcome to Eagle Review for round 22, the business end of the season. Roachy, good to collect a win away from home against Port Adelaide, knocking them off by 48 points, but they were the 14th place power. The senior coach said he wasn't wrapped with the way that we didn't dispatch of the team. Going to have to be a lot better this week against last year's grand finalists.
That's right, we will have to step up a little bit. Obviously the motivation's there. If we win the last two games, we make the top four. It's as simple as that. That means we get a guaranteed home final. Don't forget, round 13, lost by 3 points.
Cracker of a game, that one. Yeah. Probably the game of the year.
No doubt.
Let's hope we get a repeat for the fans' sake at Patterson Stadium, but a victory this time for us.
Sizes them up, and that's vintage Daniel Kerr.
It's disappointing news for young utility Brad Shepherd, going in for season-ending ankle surgery. He's been battling through it through the second half of the year. We'll be missing the finals. Very unfortunate for the club, Roachy.
Yeah, it is unfortunate for the club and for Shep. He's had a good year. It was a good move by the coaching staff earlier in the year to actually move him to the forward line. Looked like he probably wasn't going to get a gig in our back line, considering how good it is. So he's had a good year and he'll look forward to next year now.
Stroke of genius from the coaching department, I thought. Here's Dean Cox just explaining that the focus now for Brad is on a solid pre-season.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Brad and the football club to hear of the injury, but it's just now a matter of making sure Brad gets right for the start of pre-season and the 2013 season. So he'll do his rehab and make sure he's ready to go for then. What
a sight it was at East Fremantle Oval on Sunday. Josh Kennedy suiting up for his very first game for the Sharks. Got through unscathed. He had 2 goals and 6 marks in 81 minutes played. Very exciting, Roachy.
Yeah, it was exciting. Good to see him back. Spare a thought, though, for the poor old West Perth. JK back. Dicky kicked 6. Luckily, the Freo Dockers pulled out Big Sandilands for their game because he would have been playing as well.
Awesome work by Dicky. Continues to push for a final selection with 6 on the weekend. Great form in the last 2 months in the Waffle, to be honest. But the focus was JK. Hadn't played since round 5 against the Tigers. He got through, and the boys are just happy to have him back.
The boys love him as well, so they will get around him. And he's got a massive tank as it is. And I think one game's fine. You know, he'll jump in, he's sit in the goal square and we'll kick it on his head.
In the real big picture, he's worked his backside off after a really serious injury to want to play footy again. He's back playing.
Plenty of discussion this week, Roachy, about whether Olympian basketballer Mark Worthington was going to be given an Eagles contract. It was very interesting. Trained at the club earlier in the week. The senior coach checked out some of his skills on the park, and of course, under that AFL elite athletes rule, he wouldn't be counted in the salary cap or on the list. So it was quite tempting for the club.
Yeah, it was tempting, but failed. It didn't happen. I think age might have been the contributing factor there, and also the fact that we've already got Coxie and Nick Nat. But the big fella, he's missed out, so it's not going to happen. Don't forget, mate, rookie's what, 40 grand? Mate, Wortho, go over to Serbia, earn your 500 big ones, and don't worry about it, mate.
Would have been an interesting experiment. I guess Coxie will be happy.
Just another bloke that's going to be jumping all over my head again, Skeet, but...
Moving on to the game, midfielder Scotty Selwood rekindled some of his early season form. He had it 34 times, 9 marks, 7 tackles and a major. Good showing.
Yeah, he's back. Better showing than his brother, though. Poor old Adam got knocked out by Breno. Now, Breno, what are you doing? Show a bit of awareness, mate. You've knocked out Adam. Second big hit in a week.
I know. Scott was asked on Monday by the press whether Adam was feeling okay.
I think so, yeah. I think someone said he looked a little bit sick this morning, but I think that's how he normally looks, so nothing's really changed.
Shuey was also asked on his thoughts on the subject.
What Scott said.
With a big game against the Pies this week, West Coast fans breathe a massive sigh of relief with champion midfielder Daniel Kerr being given a reprimand for his strike on the weekend against Chad Wingard. Oh, very nervous times, Roachy.
Yeah, it was nervous, but he's got off. But he's got the 94 carryover points now, so he's got to be very careful. He's not allowed to breathe on his opponent this week.
Basically.
So be very careful. We can't lose him for the finals.
Speaking of finals, Chris Marston going to enter it in some pretty good form, you'd have thought. Had another great game of the weekend. I rated it. 22 touches, 5 marks. 4 clearances, 6 inside 50s, 2 goals. It really is a lot of stats there.
Yeah, he's going well, Matto. He's had a sensational year. He's hitting the scoreboard most importantly, which means they have to pay attention to him. I mean, opposition midfielders can't let him run free. He'll kick a goal in it, so it's good.
Correct. His thoughts on his 18 goals kicked this season?
Yeah, it's been good. Got a couple on the board, and just handy that they went through the middle and they weren't points, and they're just 2 points.
Well done, Masto. That is dead correct. Look, it's magic moment time. I'm going to go with Pat McGinnity. He hasn't featured on this show all too often, but his 2 lunging tackles, one against David Roden in the forward 50 that got him a goal. He isn't slow, by the way, so I'm giving it to you, Ginner. Great magic moment.
Oh, I've got a couple, mate. The bloke pretending to be a cat in the stands.
Weird.
Oh, it was a good effort, mate. He got on national TV. So, well done, buddy. And Lynchy's missed from 10 metres out. Now, we all probably prefer Lynchy kicking from 50. 10 metres out, he gets a bit nervous, so he stuffed that one up.
Well done, Roachy. We're moving on to the teams now. Saturday night, blockbuster game at 5:40. V the Pies. Let's have a look at the ins and outs. The ins, big one. Josh Kennedy finally making his return for the first time since round 5 against the Tigers. Sam Butler also added for a bit of backline stability. He's coming in for his first game since Freo in round 19. And Matty Rosa, round 18 versus the Lions, fractured his cheekbone. He is back. That is 308 games of experience to take on the Pies, Roachy.
Big game this week against the Pies. We need to win this one to finish top 4. I'm excited. Everyone's excited. Get down to Patterson Stadium and cheer the boys on.
In for another intriguing midfield battle. Of course, remember back to round 13, no one was tagged during that game. Everyone just had disposals coming out everywhere. Dane Swan, obviously going to be one to watch. Off a 2-week break, he's fresh, and the midfield group know he is such a danger and a weapon for Collingwood.
He's a very dangerous player no matter what, so you don't underestimate him. He's a terrific runner and just that burst speed that's very hard to stop, and very smart around stoppages and wins a lot of footy, obviously.
Just a quick match winner. I'm going to lock in Scooter. I think he's the one to cover Dane Swan. I think it's even his brother that's going to take it, but I think Scooter's getting enough of the ball where he can hurt him offensively. You've got to get Dane Swan thinking about where his opponent is and maybe tire him out on the big oval with Subi to get him to chase Scott a little bit. So I'm going to lock in Scooter. You're in good form, son. I know you can do it.
Yeah, not a bad call. I don't have a match winner this week. Hooroo to next review.